I'm a 30-year-old man. I went out to the store the other day and I see this little girl running around in the toy aisles. She must have ran past me 4 or 5 times, and every time she did, a man would be right behind her on her tail. For some reason, I could feel something was off. I stopped the little girl and asked to see if she was lost. She said yes. I said, "This man isn't your daddy?" She turned around slowly with tears in her eyes and looked back at me and said, no. As the man was in our aisle, I grabbed her by the hand and told her, "We're gonna go up to the front of the store to find your mom, okay?" I gripped her a little harder when we walked past him. Walking right past the man, looking him straight in the eye, he just kinda gave me this side smirk. Still to this day, it makes the hair raise on my entire body. I'm genuinely scared to know what would have happened to her if I hadn't have stepped in and brought the little girl to the front of the store to find her mom. I was cleaning my house with my music playing at 9:30 p.m. So I get a knock on my door while my boyfriend was at work and he doesn't come back for another while. So I was home alone and wasn't expecting company, especially so late at night. I turned down my music and realised the door isn't locked, so I'm instantly terrified. I'm only 4'10", so I had to prop myself up onto the wall to look through the peephole and carefully lock the door. The man outside is no one that I recognise. He was short and stocky and looked quite frightening. He grew frustrated knowing I just turned down my music and he started to pound on my door and says, "Ma'am." "Excuse me, ma'am." How the fuck did he know I was a woman? I look around the room and I see my blinds were open and realise he must have been watching me vacuum through the window. Thankfully, my neighbour right across from my house opened their door and the husband started questioning him. He said, "Excuse me, who are you and what are you doing here?" The creep fumbles and says, "Oh, good evening, sir. I was just going to offer my carpet cleaning services to her." The husband replies with, "That's great. She doesn't want it. You need to leave right now." The creep left immediately. I went over to my window to close the blinds straight afterwards. And I also called the police and messaged the neighbours to thank them for scaring him away. The thing is, I paid extra to live on the very top floor, but it seems like this creep was just watching me from below. I'm a 23-year-old guy. I live in a pretty safe neighbourhood and usually always lock my doors. Last night I apparently didn't. It was not too long after I had taken my dogs out for the last time. I was turning off the TV and lights when one of my dogs started growling. He does that sometimes to certain people, not to everybody. I then heard the front door open and someone walked in. My dog then started barking. My other dog, who loves all people, came running from the other room to greet our guest. I was reacting to what was happening and went, "What the fuck? Who are you?" Standing in our hallway was a guy in his mid to late 20s. He was skinny and tall. He said, "Oh, wait, I don't think I'm in the right place." He genuinely seemed confused. I replied with, "Hell no you weren't. Please get out." He then apologised and said he was coming to hang out with a friend and accidentally went to the wrong place. I asked him what house was he looking for, and he said a number that was a couple of numbers off from mine. He apologised again and left. He seemed nice and non-threatening, but I was kind of spooked. This morning I was ready to laugh the whole thing off. I was planning on telling my neighbours, a couple in their 30s, what happened. I don't know them too well, but we have talked before. Luckily I caught one of them when I was walking my dogs. I didn't want to come off like I was mad or scared over what happened, so I casually said, "I'm sure he told you about it. Your friend paid me a surprise visit last night." My neighbour was quiet for a couple of seconds and then said, "I don't want to alarm you, but I have no idea what you're talking about. We didn't have a friend over last night." Hey, I just wanted to say, even if these stories didn't scare you, the goal of this channel is to make you feel some way and spread awareness. You never know, one day it could happen to you, or even someone you know. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe and have a tremendous day.